And so they began to organize various raids and so on. But the thing that really sort of triggered a sequence of events was the fact that Lala Lajpat Rai was beaten to death in 1928, and this group decided to do something to try and assassinate the British police officers who had carried out that particular lathi charge. So Bhagat Singh and a group then in Lahore, they tried to kill the person who had beaten Lala Lajpat Rai to death. They actually made, there was some confusion in identification, so they actually shot another police officer who was also involved in that lathi charge, was not the one that they had targeted, called Saunders, and Saunders was assassinated, and so again a sequence of events was triggered. Now the British began to hunt for both Bhagat Singh and Chandrasekhar Azad. Bhagat Singh escaped to Kolkata and to UP, and he remained underground. Chandrasekhar Azad went off to Jhansi and so on. Now, in the midst of all of this, Bhagat Singh decided that this movement was not gathering enough pace. He was also at this stage becoming more and more influenced by socialist, particularly also Marxist literature. So he managed to persuade a group of these revolutionaries to rename this organization from Hindustan Republican Association to Hindustan Socialist Republican Association, HSRA, at this time. Now it is important here, however, to note that this is not the origin of communist or Marxist ideas amongst the revolutionaries. Bhagat Singh was himself becoming more and more aligned towards Marxism, but he was certainly not a part of a Marxist movement. None of the other leaders, particularly certainly not Sachindranath Sanyal, who was quite, openly anti-Marxist, were in favor of this kind of tilt. So, as we will see, the origins of the Marxist and communist movement in India does not lie with Bhagat Singh, but somewhere else. Bhagat Singh himself was not a part of a movement that was in any way going to become turn communist. Now what happens is that Bhagat Singh then, along with a colleague, carried out a bombing operation in the Legislative Assembly, which is now the Indian Parliament, and he then surrendered, knowing fully well that he probably faced death penalty, because he would very, very quickly be identified that he had something to do with the Saunders murder. So yes, he was arrested, and then he ultimately ended up getting hanged for this. But it seems that Bhagat Singh thought that through this act, he was going to effectively spread the word about the revolutionary movement and turn himself into martyr. That is indeed what did happen. Although Chandrasekhar Azad did make an attempt to rescue him from, but that rescue didn't quite work. And then Chandrasekhar Azad himself was tracked down in Allahabad near Alfred Park, and ultimately, he fought down to his last bullet before committing suicide. Other wings of the Hindustan Republican Army also continued to do various acts of resistance. Very famously in Chittagong, there was a raid on the armory, and a group of revolutionaries captured lots of arms, and they held out in the hills above Chittagong for many days. But by this time, by the early 30s, certainly the revolutionary movement, although it had fair amount of widespread support, the movement itself, however, was beginning to lose momentum, with many of its leaders either in jail or killed.